Cam Smith, you reckon the Rabbitohs jersey looks a bit like the Melbourne Storm away one?
Well, I was just taking a look there, Speedy, and yeah, the Rabbits, they've got that ANZAC strip on. It looks great, but it reminds me a lot of the Storm alternate strip, but the Storm are in purple tonight.
What a day it has been. And now under lights in Melbourne. Cracking game to look forward to. Melbourne with that 5-1 record. South Sydney relegated to the bottom of the ladder after the Titans broke their duck under Desi earlier today to jump off the bottom of the NRL ladder right now. Here's Liero skipping through the initial tackle of Cheekan, who comes into the lineup on an edge. Bit of a reshuffle for South Sydney as Grant goes from dummy half and runs into Kolomatangi, who's playing in the front row for starters here. As part of that reshuffle, here's Christian Welch. Back-to-back starts for him for the first time this season. As Big Nelson went back to the bench. Now Hughes, plenty of time to approach the line before kicking. And a good chase as they get to Jacob Gagai, who's back on the left wing, playing his first NRL game in Australasia after debuting in Vegas in round 1.
Yeah, Jerome Hughes, he had an eternity, man. I feel like he ran for about 10 metres.
South's just the one win so far this season. That was against the Bulldogs on Good Friday. 4-point victory on that day. And a really slow play of the ball here. Left 3 Storm players there. Welch was just okay at marker to get involved in that tackle. Cook back in the lineup for South Sydney after doing what the coach wanted to see at New South Wales Cup level. Wobbly kick taken by Meaney. And look at this field position early for the home team.
Joey just spoke about that kick pressure, or the lack of, from South Sydney. Look at the difference there from the Melbourne Storm. 2 players rushing out on Cody Walker. Hence the return. Already close to halfway, the Melbourne Storm.
Sean Bohr really impressing at every turn this season, the former Tiger in his first season with the Storm. Welch, ball playing this time for Liero. And that lock roll. Welch involved again here. This time there was pressure in the face of Hughes. Cody Walker up in his face that time. Quick play of the ball for Grant to kick. In behind Gagai this time. And across comes Jai Gray, playing his second game, and ducks under a high shot there from Eli Katoa. He's a tough little pocket rocket, is Jai Gray. And down on the sideline for us, Billy Slater. How are these conditions?
Yeah, good evening, Speedy. Conditions a little bit cool down on the sideline, but there's a slight breeze behind the Melbourne Storm coming from the south. Beautiful night for footy, though. These players won't be feeling it. They'll be nice and warm out there in the middle. Healthy crowd also, so the Melbourne Storm will want to get off to a good start and bring the crowd into the match.
Cody Walker, again pressure on the kick as Liero approached. Now able to get there on the full. Will Warbrick, and bringing it back with purpose.
Oh, what a return. Jeez, he brought that back with venom.
Silver medalist at the last Olympics in Rugby Sevens with New Zealand. Will Warbrick out on the right wing. Early set restart here for the Storm, so really good ball here for the home team. Only lost once this season. That was in Newcastle in round 3. Narrowly. Not square at marker, but it doesn't matter. The mistake came in the play of the ball, so there's a bonus for South Sydney.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed in that one, the Storm. Looking at each other, going to challenge this.
Scrum in the middle.
Yeah, scrum in the middle. What was this for?
It was just a scrappy play of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
So Eli Katoa, I mentioned that Jai Gray was lucky he didn't have his head taken off by Katoa when the fullback fielded that kick a moment ago, and now he's placed on report after the referees missed it initially. Grant Atkins in the bunker, placing him on report as they go to the left-hand side for Gagai. Whiten and Walker both involved. It's a potent left edge, more often than not for South Sydney in years gone by. And here's Host. Forced off in the opening 5 minutes of that Sharks encounter. It was a fortnight ago. They're coming off the bye, South Sydney. Showed a lot of heart in that loss to Cronulla ultimately. at a core stadium a couple of weekends ago. And here's Cam Murray. Nice offload for Cook to go to Cheekham. And he's corralled. So 2 more plays. Rabbitohs in search of the opening points here as Murray goes to Walker again. And back on the angle came Host, 4th season at the Rabbitohs for him. Short side for Walker to Whiten. Taking on Meaney is hard to stop, isn't he? Playing some great footy. Jack Whiten, but no joy there. Hands it over a couple of metres out.
I love that play, the 2-play sequence by Cody Walker. Hits his back rower. And break the play down on Jerome Hughes. And then double up the same way. Jack Whiten, they got him 1-on-1. Was unlucky not to score. Catch and pass early, 1-on-1. You know, he's a class player, Jack Whiten.
Yeah, the Rabbitohs may be 0 for 18 in Melbourne, but Jack Whiten has won 5 of his past 6 down here with the Canberra Raiders, who had great joy in the southern capital. Offload from Welch. King moves it on quickly. There's a chance brewing here. Katoa eventually goes to Meaney over the top of Gagai. And they're right down to the 30-metre line.
Yeah, the late offload.
Now Hughes with Pappenhausen chasing in behind the fullback. The 2 number 1s go at it. What about the poise from Pappy? And the bounce set up beautifully for it.
Well, if you're watching the early coverage of the Roosters-Dragons match, there was a similar try scored by Joey Manu off the kick of Sam Walker. This time it's the Melbourne Storm making a break down the right-hand side. Harvey Norman replay. Lovely hands, late offload. Eli Katoa, he chose to take him on, then got a nice ball around the outside. And this is where they catch the Rabbitohs all out of position. Jerome Hughes, he just has a look up. Just says, here, Pappy, run onto this, mate. And he's got a golden bounce.
You can see Pappenhausen tipping to his halfback. As a halfback, you get in that position, you're looking up, you're counting numbers, you're scanning markers, you're looking at your outside men. And Pappenhausen, you can see just tipping to his halfback. Fullback's in the line. And they get the bounce. Billy?
Yeah, well, fullbacks know the opposition fullback's position better than anyone, and yeah, Ryan Pappenhausen, he just points it out. He says, put it over for me. This is a great little battle. They're only short, these 2 fullbacks, but they got plenty of energy and plenty of zip. And I think this will be the last time that they'll go head-to-head tonight.
He put the brakes on there, Pappenhausen, almost as though he knew exactly where that bounce was going. Got the better of Gray and set up this opportunity for Nick Meaney, who adds the 2. Second ANZAC Day game for Ryan Pappenhausen. In his first, he scored 2 tries, kicked 7 goals. Had a great night out and already a try scorer here. And what about Nick Meaney's goal kicking? 20 out of 23 this year, Cam. That's handy when your goal kicker's adding the 2 more often than not.
Yeah, that's why they're for and against is where it is. Great attacking footy side. And when you've got a quality goal kicker, you almost bank on that 2 nearly every time.
Grant assessing the options, goes to King. He's played more than 60 minutes in each of the last 2 games, Josh King. Great work rate in the middle as Munster pokes one in behind. Winger was up and Gray bamboozled and then kicked in the head, was it? Oh, it's a knock-on against Jai Gray. Nearly had his head kicked off by Xavier Coates.
Yeah, I love that play. Love that play after points from Cam Munster. They were making some good momentum downfield. Opted for the early kick, play 4. And Jai Gray, he might just have to check those boots at half-time.
Once again,
a little bit greasy.
Molded souls. We've had this conversation before. Night games, you'd play in screw-ins the whole time.
Every time.
Every time. You're professionals. You You've got to have a couple of pairs of footy boots in your bag.
Just get your head away first.
Night games, when there's a bit of dew, you've got to be wearing screw-ins. That's the second time. The first try to Pappenhausen, there was a bit of a slip from Gray.
A lot of room to move after taking the scrum right over on that hash mark. 10 metres in from touch. Katoa to set them up. And now Welch has a crack. Again, Grant just assessing where the numbers were. Goes to the other front rower, late offload. Here's the danger. Munster does kick. Xavier Coates worked it all out. That is brilliant. 2 tries off a couple of kicks already for the Melbourne Storm.
The late offload, that contributed to the first try. They got an offload coming out of trouble. They moved the ball laterally. And here it is. This is the blueprint. You get an offload in the middle of the field. Harvey Norman replay, late offload by King. And the key is you have to move the ball laterally, get it to one of your ball players. And Munster, well, that was 6 to go. He kicks on play 0, as only Cameron Munster would. There was a future immortal next to me shaking his head. I know, and it wasn't Brenton Speed. But that's the way he plays Munster, Cameron.
No, it is. He sees opportunity.
And it wasn't David Middleton too.
He sees opportunity and takes opportunity, much like the man on the sideline did when he was playing in the purple jersey, Billy Slater. But Cam Munster, he loves those situations. Set restart called, and he sees a chance to score points, and he takes it. And look, this isn't an easy skill to be able to drop it on the foot like that, on the run, set it up perfectly for Xavier Coates, and geez, he can finish. Billy?
Well, he doesn't think about the percentage, he just thinks about the situation. And the situation showed him a chance, an opportunity to back his skill, and he did that. I spoke in the pre-game about players you can't plan for. And it's the Cameron Munsters and Cody Walkers, because that's what they do. They play the situation, they don't play the percentage.
Fans pumped on the Huey fan cam as Meaney lines up the sideline conversion now after Coates did his thing in Coates' corner at Amy Park and not coming back enough. In that same corner where he worked his magic with that show-stopping try to beat the Warriors here earlier this season, Xavier Coates jumping from 7 metres out to put it down in the corner. It was a relatively easy finish after Munster's vision worked out with the kick. So 10-0, almost beating the clock here early. The Melbourne Storm. Short side for Blore. Another offload. Grant quickly to Munster. They're in the mood tonight, the Storm. Munster could have offloaded as well, elected to hold on that time. His 4th appearance of the year after missing the first 3 rounds with a groin issue. Look at that run from Grant. South struggling to get back on side here. Munster will kick for Coates again. How's the bounce this time? Jai Gray sorts it out and gets back to the 20.
Well, they got to win the ruck. They did not win 1 tackle that set of 6. The Bunnies, the Storm just playing the ball way too quick, offloading the ball. This will help. This far out, the Bunnies need to score next.
Well, they just need to find their rhythm, Joey, don't they? It's a bit of a trend of the Melbourne Storm over the last few weeks to jump out to fast starts, early points, but then they've conceded a few and then had to try and find their way back to victory late in stages in the game. So the Bunnies, they just need to stay patient, get through their sets of 6 and really start to muscle up a little bit defensively.
You guys both picked up on Jai Gray's issues with the footwork early on, but he got to that one. But players coming from interstate to play at Amy Park, it's a more slippery surface than others, isn't it?
Well, it's very different conditions as we see a set restart for the Bunnies. It gets a bit dewy, particularly if it's quite still. We heard Billy talk about the conditions down there. There's not a whole lot of breeze, so as the night goes on, it's going to get more and more dewy and more slippery.
Here's Burgess. He had a stormer last time out against the Sharks. Gave them real hope of pulling off the upset in that one. And now Murray inside the red zone for the Bunnies. Chance to hit back here. Offload pushed and then knocked on by Katoa, I think. So 6 more coming up here for the visitors.
Interesting move by the Bunnies to play Keon Klaumatangi in the middle. Normally plays on that right side, edge forward. Interesting also to see Jai Arrow back. He's on the interchange bench. Now he shapes up. He's had that shoulder injury.
Yeah, shoulder issue. He picked that up over in Vegas in round 1, so first game back for Jai.
Yeah, they're missing Junior Totola long-term as well with a foot injury, so that's why Kolomatangi's forced into that role. Whiten, what a try saver from Hughes. Somehow stopped the former Raider, and now Murray is smashed in front of that left-hand upright by King, who's slowing things down here. Probably entitled to a set restart there, the Bunnies, but nothing doing. As Kolomatangi moves them over another couple of metres. Now they'll look to go left. Walker. Gray could afford the little fumble, could he? Nearly. Whiten fires it back to Cody Walker again. Cook standing still. Kolomatangi, same part of the ground. He'll play it on the last here. Pretty flat on either side here, the Bunnies. Pass behind Walker. Kick gets in behind, and Pappenhausen lost it out the back and lost it forward.
Field of play.
Yeah, knock on Melbourne. Out in the field of play, so this will be Bunnies ball scrum from the middle of the field. Yeah, a little bit of a messy and a bit of a scrappy set of 6 there for the Bunnies. Apart from their first play where Jack White nearly scored off the first up run from the scrum, the ball was sort of all over the shop. Someone needs to take control.
Warbrick had to stay aware there to stop South Sydney tidying up the scraps. Cook from the scrum, it's on here. Jai Gray goes to Gagai. Oh, what a show of strength. Will Warbrick. How did they not score there?
Straight back.
Well, that's one of the best try savers you will ever see. The way he gets his hips in tight and holds him up. It was 1,000 to 1 to stop him.
Gagai had some more room to exploit on the outside in the corner, but came back inboard, gave Warbrick a chance, and he made the most of it.
Josh and Harry move! Here and hold.
Burgess slowed down, gets a set restart early in the count. Walker. Jai Gray skipping his way through and over.
Okay, let go!
Centimetres away. Katoa just did enough to stop the pocket rocket. Walker for Murray. Oh, big hit. Sean Bloor, but the offload is there for Kolomatangi.
Well, that went forward off Cook.
Complaints of a knock on, but not given, not seen if it was one. Knocked down by Munster. That was a knock on by him, so Melbourne's defence under enormous pressure here.
I didn't think so. Close.
So fast moving, the defence. They rush hard, smother the opposition, and then after they smother, they sprint back. It's just relentless. He's the try saver. He gets his hips in there and just the strength to hold him up. That you can see the work they all do with the wrestling, using different parts of their body to hold the ball up. That was incredible.
3-3 split here. They'll go left again for Gray. What about that step? Got rid of Hughes, but there was backup from Eli Katoa.
Has he hurt himself here? Oh, no. He grimaced when he went to ground.
Hopefully able to shake that one off. Jai Gray as Burgess sets them up. Not a whole lot going out to the right-hand side, but Cook will head that way now for Murray. And another set restart. The marker's not square that time. So Munster says, I'll just slow things down a little longer. The halves combine now. Hawkins to Walker. This time for Gagai. And South Sydney have their opener.
Cody Walker at his best. Ball in two hands. He's just waving that ball around. When you got that ball in two hands, defence stops. They get on their heels. Harvey Norman replay. Great ball from Cook, dummy half. And then Cody gets the ball. Not much doing here, just ball in two hands, showing the ball around, taking the eyes off Cody Walker, and then he frees up his wingman, Gagai. They needed to score. Really needed to score there, the Bunnies.
Yeah, and what he does really well there, Joey, is, like you mentioned, ball in two hands, but he disguises the ball from the defence. So he holds it right behind his body, showing to those drop-off runners. The defence, they're in two minds. They hesitate just for a half a second. You just see him here drift across field, show Nick Meaney in two minds, just holds him up, and that creates the space on the outside for Gagai.
2 tries in 2 games now for the 28-year-old late bloomer, Jacob Gagai, younger brother of the former South Sydney Rabbitoh, Dane Gagai.
I love Cody Walker as a player. I just love watching him play. I'd still love to see him in that 6 for New South Wales. I think he just has to show the coach and the selectors some consistency. But you saw there, he's a magician.
3 out of 5 this year for Dean Hawkins. Not quite there. Have a look at the sporting capital of Melbourne. Beautiful night. Amy Park, the focus right now. And South Sydney right back in the contest, and then bamboozle from the kickoff. And look at the Melbourne fans, just let them know about it.
Gus, is Gus watching, letting the ball bounce?
Gus is watching everything. He watches everything.
Well, it took the first hop, and then it sat up nicely for Cody Walker. He looked to his front rower, Lower Matangi, he said, yours.
Short dropout option here. Up goes Warbrick, and he loses it. So South Sydney dodged that bullet. See that game coming up tomorrow, Manly against Para. Earlier this season, Manly led 12-0 early, got rolled by Parramatta. Melbourne up early here by 2 tries. Earlier today, the Warriors, second time this year they've blown an early 12-0 lead. Can you get complacent sometimes when you go up 12-0 or 10-0 early?
Well, Speedy, especially if there's expectation on you to win the game, and you feel very confident about going out and beating the opposition. If you get that quick early try and it comes at relatively easily, then maybe you can slip into that sort of mode of, well, we could have this game wrapped up.
Whiten looking dangerous. Doesn't need Gagai for now. He'll kick. Walker chasing. Oh, what a claim from Pappenhausen. Absolutely brilliant. The bounce didn't appear to be doing him many favours.
Velcro on his hands.
He's done it at both ends now, Pappenhausen. No sign of a juggle in that one. Magical hands. Look at this take. Whooshka.
Well, that's twice tonight the ball's bounced to him.
Up the middle, and the Melbourne Storm. Munster wobbles one down to the wing of Tane Mill. Nice fingertip catch. Changes coming now for South Sydney. Tom Burgess takes his leave after the opening stint. And that brings Jai Arrow onto the ground in number 17. He'll nurse that rotator cuff problem throughout the season. until surgery at season's end, you'd reckon. And we'll see how he fares tonight. That shoulder injury sustained in round 1 in Vegas. Hawkins now goes to Murray. Walker seeing plenty of it. Lovely pass, catch and pass from Whiten to the try scorer Gagai.
He's freakish, Cody Walker. He just sees the game so well. That pass, that was a gem.
And the kick comes from Hawkins. Melbourne don't want a bar of it. And the bounce goes their way again, but knocked out of Munster's grasp. And then an argument that Munster, teammate might have been offside there. That's what Melbourne are complaining about. Referee wanted help from his touchy. South Sydney might have got a bonus possession there, I reckon.
Well, this game has turned on its head.
Olamatangi. Welch had a reef at the footy. Pass behind Cam Murray. Hawkins. Cheekham. That gap closed between Munster and Remus Smith. Cook. Flat ball for Jai Arrow. And there's a concern for Harry Grant after that contact. Stopping Arrow. Kick from Cook. And it sits up for Pappenhausen. Got plenty of help there from Munster in front of him. And that allowed him to get in the field of play.
Bit of blood on Harry Grant. Oh, just... They've gone up a couple of gears, the Bunnies.
Who wants the next hit up? Remus Smith puts his hand up and runs into Arrow. Great defence here, South Sydney, really muscling up. And they maintain their discipline throughout this set and keep the foot on the throat here.
And he got an accidental boot. I'd say the independent doctor in the bunker will bring Harry Grant off. So he'll have to have a HIA for there.
Out there for now, finding Hughes for the kick. And Jai Gray has plenty of room to bring it back outside the 30. Alec McDonald just onto the ground, made that tackle count, the 22-year-old. Whiten coming back infield, and no one was really presenting for Jack Whiten. Had to take the tackle of Liero in the end. Milne running at Munster, forcing an offload that works for Cook. Ran for over 100 metres last week back in New South Wales Cup. Came in Cook. Walker out the back for Gray, the fullback. He's got that step. But Meaney didn't fall for it that time. Walker. No real chase here, but they've turned Pappenhausen around. He had time to let it go dead, though, for a 7-tackle set.
Yeah, he just tried to stab that one, Cody Walker. He wanted it to try and bite or just skid, at least on the dew, and sit up in the in-goal. As we see now, it's high contact from Ryan Pappenhausen. Huge turnaround there.
It's such a big turnaround. You give the 7-tackle restarts.
I agree on that. I didn't think that's what happened, though.
There's nothing in that.
Big Nasty, they call it.
Big Nasty's got bigger. Capital letters.
And is Nelson Asafa Solomona about to enter the fray. He's got the number 8 on his back, but coming off the bench. Played 32 minutes last week against the Roosters. And he is ready to go. Still on the sideline for now as Liero goes to Hughes, to Pappenhausen, all a little too clunky. Has to give himself up and surrender because Walker was knocked over by the back rower, Katoa. Would have been an obstruction if he played on. There's the setup play from King. Still 2 more plays here for Hughes to go to Munster. Over the top, Xavier Coates in cruise control. In Coates' corner again for a first half double.
Well, he's on fire this year, Xavier Coates. I don't know if he's bulked up, I don't know if he can get any bigger, but he looks leaner, he looks fitter. Harvey Norman replay, lovely left shift by the Melbourne Storm, and just But look at the cluster of players. It was a lovely pass by Cam Munster and the timing of Xavier Coates running onto that football, but the cluster of players right here on the screen, that's what does all the damage to the South Sydney defensive line. You just see them sitting on their heels, waiting. The Storm are dictating. And that man there, he gets the spoils.
Yeah, Jerome Hughes, that was classic halfback play on that angle from behind. You could see what it did to the defender of Michael Cheekham. Watch Michael Cheekham, he has to sink in a little bit, which then isolates Dean Hawkins, and it's a domino effect. And he gets under stress, the next defender gets under stress, and then the other back, Tane Mill, he has to rush in. He's all on his own. But it was that beautiful play from Jerome Hughes which brought in Michael Cheekham, and then just Munster did his stuff.
What about the try scoring record for the X-Man at this venue? 27 now in 23 games at Amy Park.
Speedy, you'd score half of that if you were playing outside this team, mate.
You're generous, Joey.
Maybe a third.
So Meany has missed one tonight. A little cider from out here earlier. 5 metres in from touch this time. And he's pushed it wide again, I think. No, off the upright and over. So a triple header of Anzac Day NRL coming to a close here in Melbourne here tonight. And what about the scores earlier today? Eye-catching, both of them. The Titans under Desi got their first win, 27-24 in the end. The Warriors threw everything at the Gold Coast side late, but couldn't find a match winner. So off the mark and off the bottom of the ladder, Gold Coast. And then what a scoreline we saw on 9 earlier at Allianz. 60 points for the Roosters over the Dragons. 42-point margin. There's Remus Smith. Grant gets a quick play of the ball. Lovely pass out in front of Hughes. And then Meany skips around Gagai. Outside man is Warbrick. And now the other winger has a meat pie. Will Warbrick saved one at the other end and now dots it down.
Cameron, talk us through this pass from Harry Grant. It is top shelf.
Yeah, takes a lot of skill, balance, vision. Harvey Norman replay. Just watch Harry Grant. He comes out to his left and then straight back across his body to the right. A nice flat cutout pass to Jerome Hughes. And we've just seen another Rabbitohs player slip over. It was Gagai this time. But just that deception, just getting the defence leaning one way and then zipping that pass across multiple defenders. And it just creates space for the Storm on the outside. Another wonderful set piece by the Storm. Billy?
Yeah, well, both teams looking really dangerous using the football. South Sydney on the left-hand side with Jack Whiten, but this one come off an offload. It was a Sean Bloor offload, and Big Nelson and Sofa Solomona. The crowd here, they love when Big Nelson gets the ball. They actually loved when he just got off the bench and got an interchange card. This was the run here. This is the run that created the momentum for the Melbourne Storm, and then the creative players got off the back of it. Harry Grant, Jerome Hughes, you can see them all barking. They all want the football after Nelson runs it. Well, that's where it started, Big Nelson.
Yeah, agree.
That was an amazing pass from Harry Grant. Goes one way and then transfers his body weight to the other leg and just throws that bullet. What a pass.
So Meany from the other side. Right over the black dot this time. Third try of the season for the Kiwi, Will Warbrick. And the Storm in a dominant position again in this fixture. Overall, the head-to-head, 32 wins, just 7 losses against the Rabbitohs down the years. And Cam Smith, you're part of the reason they've never won in Melbourne. You always prepare a welcoming committee for these South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Well, no, and Speedy, look, they've been a quality side for a long period of time, and they had their sort of run of being the benchmark of the competition. They've always had quality players, so you get up for the good sides. You always show the teams as much respect as you can. But the hoodoo looks like it's going to continue.
About 5 or 6 minutes ago, South Sydney had their chance to try and level things. They had a lot of possession, trailing 10-4. And the Storm went bang, bang, and here they go again. Munster, oh, beautiful, skips around one, kicks for Coates, who has a hat-trick!
Oh, stop it.
The vision of Munster is insane!
No.
There's 6 to go then, too.
Did that just
I'm
happen?
sure I heard the bell go off.
Did that just happen?
But have a look at the kick. He is so off balance.
He's mid-stride.
This is freakish. Harvey Norman replay, one marker, Pappenhausen. Just watch this. He is off balance. He jumps in the air to kick it. Oh, I want to live in Munster world. Look at this. Who would think? Look, he just gets the ball and kicks. He has to change his technique of his kick because his stride's out. He actually jumps in the air. Watch it here.
Well, what he does, Joey, he actually lets go of the ball, so he drops it knowing he's going to kick with his left foot. He still has to take another step.
He looked like that uncoordinated kid in the playground
Off the wrong leg.
who has no idea how to kick a ball. Billy, can you talk us through that one, please?
Well, what I can say is I reckon you've been in Munster's world a couple of times. I'm just saying, but I like the way how Cameron Munster reacts to his fullback just jumping out of dummy half. It was the last tackle. It was a sporadic move, but they're just starting to play a lot of football together alongside each other, this spine down here in Melbourne. And it's scary things to come because Ryan Pappenhausen hasn't been there for a long period, and now he's back. That was just a great sign of reaction to what Ryan Pappenhausen did, and Cameron Munster, he jumped straight off the back of it. Oh, Munster's world.
So Meany from the sideline hooks this one. What a joy in the ad break. I'm getting a kicking masterclass from Cam Smith on one side, Andrew Johns on the other, still trying to work out how Munster pulled that off.
We're still trying to work it out.
We're trying to do it in the commentary box, but we got no idea.
Xavier Coates has gone off with a hamstring problem. The way they were going, he could have got 5 or 6. Tyrone Wishart on the wing.
He's already doubled his try count, Xavier Coates, for the season here tonight. Had 3 coming in, has a first half hat-trick, but done for the night.
Yeah.
And that utility value of Tyrone Wishart in the 14 jumper to play on the wing for now.
Well, the earlier game we're talking about Sam Walker. Now he just plays without a safety net. It's the same with Munster. Xavier Coates.
What a shame. And here go Melbourne out to the other side. Warbrick turned under by Meany. Leading by 22, and they just got that penalty to march up the ground again. The home team, 5-1 record. Hope you're enjoying the coverage live on 9 in Melbourne as well. Storm fans pretty excited about what might happen this year with the team playing this kind of footy. Grant goes short side for Pappenhausen. Meany has Warbrick outside again. Gagai able to get to him to finish off the tackle. He's got his hands full though. The second gamer out there on the left wing for South Sydney. Pass found Munster. Here's Smith. And doesn't go to Wishart. Munster says there's something going on the short side, but Grant goes to the open for Hughes to kick. Here comes Warbrick. And safety first from Gagai. Did well to backtrack.
Well, it's the only play that he had up his sleeve was just to bat that ball dead. Wonderful play by the Melbourne Storm. Harry Grant, that long ball, he just needed to find his half in Jerome Hughes. He looked out to his right, seeing Gagai just isolated there on that wing.
So Jacob Gagai, the latest South Sydney player, placed on report for a high tackle earlier on. Referee Todd Smith just explained that to him. Before the short dropout was attempted. Doesn't come off this time for the Bunnies. Here's McDonald. Plays his role off the bench. Anywhere between 25 and 45 minutes a game for McDonald. Loitering in the ruck area was Mamazelis, the backup dummy half, and leading by 22. They just want to go up in sixes here, the Storm. 3.5 minutes before halftime. They have really turned it on here. The South Sydney threw down a challenge midway through the half. Grant, surely not. Found space where there was none. South Sydney complained about McDonald, who played the ball, but it's a try for now.
Well, he's completely bamboozled them there, Harry Grant. There wasn't much doing for the Melbourne Storm. Harvey Norman replay. He picks the ball up, faces left, turns right, does a spin, and gets his first one of the season. He's off the duck egg, and they all just ball watched. They didn't take the man.
We usually see him doing this to the other side. He usually gets out to the left and then pirouettes, comes back to the other side, and sometimes grubber kicks. But this time, as you said, they're all ball watching, all on their heels. Geez, they're in a mood, the Storm.
And the part that McDonald plays there, no problem. The way that Jai Arrow was kind of obstructed, but Arrow wasn't square at marker, so all rights.
Well, yeah, that's fine as long as, well, he was the man that played the ball, so as long as he doesn't put hands on the marker or obstruct them in any movement, it's play on.
Straightforward look this time for Meaney. So Harry Grant, the latest try scorer for Melbourne, 25th four-pointer of his career. A couple of minutes before half-time, and right now, Jason Demetrio is going to feel even more heat. And his team trailing by 28 points, approaching half-time. He was under enormous pressure going into that Cronulla game with the bye around the corner. And look at that run of tries. Inside 10 minutes, 4 of them have been scored. Gagai giving South Sydney fans their only joy. Oh, risky pass. And it's okay.
So one of the first times I've seen Josh King play that play. I think it might be the last.
Put it in the locker.
He's a Craig Bellamy player he loved coaching, Josh King.
And the former Knight. Awkward looking tackle for Wishart. He got down really low and he's okay.
I understand the army camps, which the Storm do, which pretty much break plays. Josh King was one of the best, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. He was voted best on camp, so straight away that puts a big green tick next to their name for Craig Bellamy.
You've done a couple of those camps?
Yes, I have done a couple.
Heard they're horrendous.
Gray Is there something brewing here before half-time? Has to happen in the next couple of plays for South Sydney. Whiten, oh, look, Grant said to host, you're going nowhere. They have just enough time to play it here for Mamazelis to find Hawkins. Not enough hang time for the chasers to put any pressure really on Pappenhausen. The siren about to sound, and it's been another one of those Melbourne Storm performances on Anzac Day at Amy Park. At half-time, it is 32 points to 4. Yes, they've got a massive deficit to overhaul here. Trailing 32 points to 4. And Pappenhausen, one of the stars of that first half showing, but Cam Munster and his kicking game, absolutely incredible. There was that purple patch for Whiten and Walker, as Billy Slater just identified, but they didn't do enough with that purple patch, South Sydney.
Yeah, well, it's their strongest side in attack. And I'm sure that they previewed that against the Melbourne Storm as well, because if you only think back a couple of weeks ago, that's where the Bulldogs, they identified that in the second half, and they aimed all of their attack down their left side, and they got some joy. They got a few tries out of it. Josh Addo-Carr, he scored 3 tries that night. Can the Bunnies do the same?
Welcome to the ball game, Saliva Havili. Backslam there by Grant and McDonald. Harry follows up to get involved in that tackle as well. Mamazelis goes to Kolomatangi. And here's that left side again with Gray. Trademark step trying to get around Hughes, who's always got Katoa there to lend a hand. There's the bodyguard out on that side. So into enemy territory at the back end of the set. Kolomatangi, awkward looking, play the ball, got rid of the markers. And Hawkins down to the wing of Tyron Wishart, deputising for Xavier Coates, who was forced off late in that first half with a minor hamstring issue, as Emma Lawrence told you before half-time. And they get it.
He flopped in Saliva, and then Mike was slow.
Munster asked for it, and referee Todd Smith agreed.
Second set of the half, you just cannot be giving those cheap penalties away. Doesn't matter who you're playing, but a top-line team like the Storm, you got to try to sustain some pressure. That is just, you just can't do that.
In round 8, the rugby league community comes together to pay tribute to the servicemen and women who have served and continue to serve our countries, and to celebrate the embodiment of the Anzac spirit, loyalty, courage and mateship. On behalf of the whole rugby league community, we thank you. Here's Big Nelson. Asifa Solomona had the arm free as well, if anyone was looming for the offload. Now Grant, no look at a Munster. Flat ball for Blore. Somehow found a passage to Pappenhausen. It's Harlem Globetrotter stuff here from the Melbourne Storm. Munster eventually concedes in the tackle, and they're only midway through the count after that piggyback penalty. King moves it on to Hughes. Pass hits Warbrick. That guy did well with the initial contact with help from Whiten. Inside the red zone they'll go. Pappenhausen chimes in. Smith taking on Isaiah Tass. Good front on tackle in the end. Plays it on the last. Pappenhausen down a really short side with power. Pappy does it again. First try of the game. First try of the second half now for the fullback.
Yeah, well, that's punishment for giving away cheap field position. Early penalty against the Rabbitohs for ill discipline up the other end of the field. And this outfit, Harvey Norman replay, just watch him go to work. Nice long shift all the way to the left-hand side. There's a great tackle over near the sideline, but then this play here, Pappenhausen, this is just, you just cannot do this at that level. That marker, Isaiah Tass, he falls for that dummy. Oh, sorry, that's Tane Milne. He falls for the dummy, just gives the slightest little bit of space for Pappenhausen down the short side, and you give him that little bit of room, Pappy, he's gone.
Well, one marker you learn as soon as you come into grade. If there's one marker you don't chase, especially if you're a winger, you got to look after your sideline there. Tane Mill just took a couple of steps infield. Pappenhausen got him and just straight out from dummy half. Second try from dummy half for Melbourne.
Grant at the back end of the first half did something similar right in front of the posts. So Meany has had his fair share of sideline conversion attempts. This one will be waved away. So many horrific injury concerns for Ryan Pappenhausen down the years. It's great to see him flying again. It's his second ANZAC Day fixture and now has a double in both ANZAC Day games. Plenty of time to turn it into a hat-trick, perhaps, the mood that he and Melbourne are in. And Blore just playing his role on the left edge.
He's been so impressive the last couple of weeks. Once again, the Melbourne Storm get a player, especially a forward, and he grows in lengths. He looks a top liner, Sean Blore.
He's the other edge-back rower, Eli Katoa, who they picked up from the Warriors. Craig Bellamy and the backroom staff just cherry-picking the young forwards that they like around the comp. Now Munster. And the dummy this time, and no potential of the late offload as Mamazelis wrapped up the footy. Hughes will kick, and again he had plenty of time to advance. Oh, look at the chase from Katoa. Good contest. I think he knocked it on into Gagai, and that's the call. Warbrick thinks he has another try, but no joy this time.
Can you remember when Nelson first came to training at the Melbourne Storm?
Yes, I did. I do remember. Yeah, a bit scary.
How was he early on?
Oh, he was good. He was a relatively quiet young man.
Took him a while to get up to speed of the NRL because he played rugby union. Didn't he?
Grew up playing rugby union, but just had size and skill, ability. Can pass the football, got a great offload.
He just collared Mamazelis right on cue. Otherwise, the Bunnies were away there.
He was about to throw him into the Yarra River.
Went over the top of the grandstand. And Cameron Smith stand on the far side here in Melbourne Storm home games. Billy Slater stand left of screen. There's Hawkins down towards the incumbent fullback, Pappenhausen. Oh, look at Pappy go. The adventure to go to Remus Smith, who was camped out there on the wing. Craig Bellamy this week was asked to compare eras and the spines, the big four of yesteryear for the Storm, and what this current spine is doing. Look at Munster, a key cog, of course, in that number 6 jumper. Back to Slater, Smith, Cronk and GI. Now it's Pappenhausen, Grant, Hughes and Munster. Here is Hughes, the Kiwi international. Fires one to Meany. Straightens things up against Whiten. Still 2 more plays here. Pappenhausen down the short side. Katoa throwing dummies. And flicks one out the back. Pappenhausen gets there again. And pushed across the sideline before getting boot to ball.
If you compare the two teams, just watch this set defensively, the Melbourne Storm. When they make a tackle, watch how tight they get in, how they slow to play the ball, how everyone knows their job, how they just control the ruck so well. Big tackle from Harry Grant, but they get in tight. And then, oh, Harry.
And they mill.
Just watch, and then watch on the other side. And even count to yourself. The time of the play of the ball, how they get in there, just how they control the speed of the play of the ball. Good on you, Kingy.
Slowed it down and fell victim to the Andrew Johns commentator's curse. So Jai Arrow's first stint is over. Came on midway through that first half. Back to centre field they go. And here's the freshman, Davey Mawali, in the number 16 jumper. Walker's ready, and straight through Cody. Oh, what a try saver. McDonald scrambled to stop him. He was about to slide over there, the veteran. Mawali again. Big tackle stopped him. Right-hand side now, off the wing, Wishards. He can adjust to any role, can't he, Tyron? Played halfback in that round 3 game in Newcastle. Hung up, and up goes Hughes with protection from Katoa. And he's back into the in goal, so line dropout coming up.
Well, they did a good job there, the Rabbitohs, to be able to hold Jerome Hughes up. Is that try-scoring opportunity from Cody Walker. Big effort here by McDonald just to pull him up inches short of the try line.
Pappenhausen goes short. Oh, spectacular take, and then the tackle. It's all action here. Under the lights of Amy Park. Munster upending Tass. Walker ready to go on the open side, but they go to Hawkins down a short side. Melbourne have done so much damage on short sides tonight, but nothing doing there for the South Sydney number 7. Mamazelis moves it on. Murray for Walker. Over the top. Oh, it's like a replay of what we saw in the first half. Munster to Coates, and now it's Gagai on the end of things in that corner.
And this is where he's at his best, Cody Walker. And they work to the right and open up the field. And he gets some space and time. And he just waits and waits and waits with that ball on his right hip. Harvey Norman replay. He's just waiting for the defence to react. Will Warbrick, he reacts, and then he just pulls the trigger there. Cody, he's a genius at it.
And it's that right side defence of the Melbourne Storm again being caught out. That time there, we've seen that high shot as the Rabbitohs attack approaches their defensive line. Nick Meaney, he just gets sucked in. You'll see on this view here. Just watch Meaney and Hughes. Hughes is sliding out. Nick Meaney's sliding backwards, not shifting to his right. That doesn't allow Will Warbrick to release and take his man. It's a nice set piece by the Bunnies. Billy?
Yeah, just on Jacob Gagai. He didn't debut until he was 28 earlier this year. That's his 3rd try in the NRL. He's picked up a double now here at Amy Park. There's Hawkins. He doesn't have the extras.
Well, coming up tomorrow night in Friday night footy, we're back at 4 Pines Park with the Sea Eagles taking on their old foes, the Eels. 7:30 right here on Nine's Wide World of Sports. They faced off just over a month ago at Combank in a really entertaining game on a Sunday arvo. Now it's under the Friday night lights at Brookie.
Yeah, and the Eels, they were questioned by their coach after their performance last week against the Dolphins. So you'd like to think they'll see a much better performance. A lot of the men in blue and gold.
Billy just touched on it. Jacob Gagai, 3 tries now in 2 games in the NRL. And the man who provided the try assist is the inspiration for him. Cody Walker didn't debut until he was 26, and in a fortnight's time, he'll play his 200th NRL game against the Dragons, the 34-year-old Cody Walker. So plenty of time for Jacob Gagai to progress in his NRL career, playing in that Alex Johnston role who scored so many tries on the left wing for South Sydney, and it's fruitful for the younger Gagai here. Dane Gagai back in that Newcastle lineup this weekend. As Murray was, you call that a bludger of a pass, don't you, Joey?
It's a poor one. That was poor concentration by Cody Walker. Just that last movement. Normally that last movement he flicks the wrist. But his hands there and let him down. Poor concentration. That was a poor pass. Can't be doing that after points.
Munster. The Storm so used to playing on this day, hosting many a contest against the Warriors at this venue on ANZAC Day, while the Rabbitohs haven't played on ANZAC Day in a decade. Last time they played on this important day on the Australian calendar, GI scored that try of the year up at Suncorp against the Broncos. Here's a chance for Warbrick. Found by Pappenhausen, knew he was running out of room and did the discipline thing early in the tackle count there. And away from that sideline. Grant from Munster. Double pump and the late arrival. What a tackle that is by Hawkins to chop down Remus Smith. Pass finds Pappenhausen. Another bounce to the fullback. How's the bounce at the end of the kick? It's out for a 7-tackle set.
Well, we've already seen a couple of those tonight from the Melbourne Storm. Here's this great tackle. Try-saving tackle. That was Dean Hawkins. They survived that one, the Bunnies.
So they're getting after Tane Milne, aren't they? But he's strong enough to get an offload there for some second phase footy here for Isaiah Tass, who Milne is playing outside of on that right-hand edge. Murray, better service this time onto Walker. Cut out ball to Whiten. Davey Moali targeting McDonald. No way past for the Cook Islands International. Oh, Murray runs into Joey Chan over the top. Welcome to the ball game, Joey. Great hands, Mamazelis after the offload. Now Walker for Whiten. Good tackle by Meany, took him down one-on-one. Not easy to do against Jack. Last tackle here for Walker. Finds some space between Munster and Pappenhausen. How's the pickup from Munster?
He's in a mood tonight, Munster. And he's everywhere. And here's the big tackle. Joe Chan. Good shot. His old man could hit.
Alex.
Yeah, he could hit.
He's the general manager at Catalan. He's got Joey, one of his sons, playing here for the Storm, and his other son has just signed a big deal with the Wigan Warriors, Tiaki.
Really?
Yeah. Multi-year deal as a young man. So Dad's kicking back as the general manager at Catalan, and his boys are going to work around the world. Both born in France, those two young men. From inside the 20, Hughes is forced to kick here. Now it sits up nicely for Gagai hunting a hat-trick. Whiten taking the game on with purpose there. Nice post-contact meters on offer. His 5th game for Souths.
David Moali, I think he just turned 21. And he's going to be a player.
Jai Gray leading the meter readers, as you see. Also caught the eye with his output on debut a fortnight ago. And they're inside the red zone here. Overlap created. And here's a chance for Tane Milne, who bumped off Wishart. And South Sydney have back-to-back tries.
Wow. Lovely play here by the Rabbitohs. But the effort out wide by Tane Milne to finish this off. Harvey Norman replay. Nice set of hands in the middle, Cam Murray. They just create that little bit of space to work in. Tass, nice flick pass, and look at that there. Tyron Wishart. Oh,
that's amazing strength. Because Wishart's really strong, isn't he? And when he gets the ball, Wishart surges at him and just throws him away. Great finish. It's him one-on-one. Wow. Slams it down.
Brings that margin back to 24. Have the momentum now, South Sydney.
well, they're actually winning this second half, Speed. It's 2 tries to 1 in favour of the Rabbitohs.
Tough one for Hawkins. The right footer. The strike is perfection. Drops it over the black dot. Wide World of Sports is proud to present Series 3 of the award-winning podcast Stories of Origin. This year we shine the spotlight on the career of the little number 7 that became a giant of Origin, Alan Langer. Stories of Origin, Alfie, is available from Monday, April 29 on 9 Now and wherever you get your podcasts. You featured in one of those podcasts last year, didn't you, Ken?
Yeah, I was in one of those. Great listening. Some of the legends of Origin. A couple of them working on our broadcast. Fittler, Johns, Slater, Thurston, Lockyer.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. We can't forget the great man Paul Vaughton too, Speedy.
Did he win the golf?
Gal's just putting his boxing gloves on outside here, Cameron.
Has Gal been up yet?
I don't know, but he's outside warming up. It's Cameron, not me.
Did Fatty win a golf comp today?
Yeah, I did see earlier, Speedy.
New set of clubs.
Well done, Fatty. Good job.
Jai Gray through the dummy and was almost through and out the other side. They're still believing here, South, and they came back strong against Cronulla and nearly pulled their pants down at a core stadium last time out. Coming off the bye, they took a long time to get going, but here they come. Tass comes down with it, and Murray will score. Well, look out, here comes South Sydney. Inspired right now.
Inspired, absolutely, Speedy. That's just want. That's want there from the Rabbitohs. They put bodies in motion. They got their jerseys in the picture. Harvey Norman replay. The ball goes up from Dean Hawkins, and they just compete for this ball. They wanted it more than Wishart. Cam Murray, as always, putting his body in the frame. And he's rewarded with another 4-pointer. The Bunnies, they're on a bit of a roll. Billy?
Well, they're going after the contest, Cam. They're using the football coming out of trouble. I thought Jai Gray looked really exciting on this left-hand side of the field. Here it is here. Off Cam Murray, Cody Walker, and then the speedster. He creates the quick play the ball. They go back to the right-hand side. Now only kick it as far as they can chase. That's the key for Hawkins. He doesn't kick it all the way. And Isaiah Tass, he competes for the ball. And Cam Murray, he's in absolutely everything at the moment, the captain.
There's Dave Ferner alongside JD up in the South Sydney coaches box. Just joined a couple of weeks ago to work on the defence. David Ferner, former first-grade coach himself. Well, coming up on Chemist Warehouse Sunday footy, the Sharks will be looking to snatch back top spot on the ladder with victory in the nation's capital as they take on Ricky's Raiders. Tune in from 3 p.m. to catch the build-up and analysis with the game's greatest minds right here on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
And they're a big hope in that one, the Raiders. Hard to beat down there. They've lost their halfback, Jamal Fogarty, but I think they'll change the way they play and rely on that really strong forward pack. Knowing Ricky Stewart, the coach, he'll have them prepared, he'll have them ready to go.
You've got Ethan Strange in the halves and another Ethan on the way, apparently. Young man who'll debut for Parramatta tomorrow night.
Well, he's a player of a lot of potential. I'm looking forward to watching him play tomorrow.
Cheekan. King just let him up in time to avoid the penalty inside the 40. And here's Gray again. No way past Hughes, who had support from Liero that time.
Well, this is the key to beating the Storm. You've got to move the ball coming out of trouble.
Great pick-up, Walker. After Murray's pass hit the deck. So they went nowhere on that play, but they're inside Melbourne territory again. Margin is back to 16, and here's another Hawkins high ball. Great take, Pappenhausen, and collected in mid-air that prompts the immediate whistle. So he's gone from contesting the footy to tackling the opponent in mid-air there, Jack White. And he knew he was in a bit of trouble. He tried to apologise, but
just mistimed his attempt there on Pappenhausen. It was only slightly early, but nonetheless, the referee, it was Johnny on the spot. He pinged him.
Here's Joey Chan again. Really impressive in the last game. Against the Roosters, ran for 76 metres, made 18 tackles. Oh, Eli Katoa's through! Oh, they bought the dummy! And Mamazelis had to track him down from behind because he was turning Jai Gray inside out. They go to the right-hand side. Left-hand side looked more ominous from a South Sydney perspective. Now they'll head that way, you'd presume, as Grant fires one to Liero. And he had one more tackle to burn. Which way now for Harry? Grant says, I'll have another go from dummy half, but nothing doing there.
Well, why not? He caught him in the first half. He fooled everyone and got the 4-pointer. He just thought, well, I'm going to have another crack here. It's not a bad result, just turning it over. And you see the bottom of the screen, the line break there made by Eli Katoa.
Just when he thought he was setting sail for the try, Mamazelis dragged him down. He's giving Damien Cook a significant chop out here. Mamazelis is the backup dummy half as well. The Greek international. They shift it. Host back on the angle. Murray, quick hands. Cheekham did well to move it on to Tass, who played his part in the last try for the Bunnies. Great take. Slow service for Hawkins, put him under enormous pressure, but he tumbles a decent kick down towards Pappenhausen. He could afford to let it bounce. Complaining about that contact around the neck, chin region, but referee said get up and play it. Next try important in this game. If South Sydney can score again, it's game on here. 15 minutes to go. Hughes trying to put it to bed, goes to Pappenhausen. Great tackle, Jai Gray, as the fullbacks go head-to-head again. Munster at speed. Oh, he makes it look so easy. The post was the only obstacle, but he scores under them.
Yeah, we're back in Munster world, and isn't it fun? Watch the move here by Munster. He looks like he's going behind the ruck, and as he gets the ball, here's the lead up. Jerome Hughes looks inside, gets in behind the ruck. He'll go forward, beautiful pass to Pappenhausen. And then the next play, Munster will look like he's coming in behind the ruck. And then as he gets the ball, he'll go to the outside of Koloamatangi and ends up going into space. He looks like he's going to the inside of Koloamatangi, moves on the pass to get to the outside. Koloamatangi doesn't even get a hand on him. He hits the touch, the goalpost. It's been a long day on the Harvey Norman replay.
Yeah,
Munster showing his class.
Great play, Munster. And just to see where he actually came from to get involved in that play too, Joey. He recognised the quick play of the ball from Jerome Hughes. He comes sprinting from his position. He was about 25 metres away from the play of the ball. And he just screamed out to Harry Grant and said, give me the ball. I'm going to go score a try. And just a nice swerve off the right foot, top speed.
That was class.
Carried him across the line.
That was class.
3 try assists in the first half, and now a 4-pointer of his own for Munster. He makes it easy for Meaney. Let's get down to Emma Lawrence.
Yeah, Speedy, another epic crowd at this annual ANZAC Day clash. 25,149 here at Amy Park. And I tell you what, every single one of them are loving watching Cameron Munster do his thing.
They've all got the merch as well. Purple right around Amy Park. It's one of the great venues of the world to watch sport, Cam, and to play on it. What's it like?
Oh, it's incredible. They're right on top of you. It's like a little mini Suncorp Stadium. If anyone's had the pleasure of watching a game at Suncorp.
Short kick-off, and it works. Harry Grant has knocked it on.
Trying to strip it one-on-one. I've got Harry trying to strip one-on-one, then South.
Harry Grant is the captain. He's not thinking of a captain's challenge. He knows.
There's been some better signs for South tonight, Cameron. And just, if they can put it together for 80 minutes, that's the key. Their discipline on occasion's been poor, giving cheap penalties away. They've given 5 penalties away. There's been better signs.
Yeah, much better, particularly the second half. There's no doubt that they are a classy outfit. They've got quality players who can cause issues for opposition teams' defence. And they just need to be able to get their whole game together, though. I think the big thing for them is the effort and the intent that they start their games with.
Murray right up the middle again. Cook back on. Latrell Mitchell's still not available due to suspension. They play Penrith next week. Trell won't be available for that one either. After what happened against the Warriors a few weeks back now.
Harry, got to let go. No, you don't let go.
You talk about effort. Cam Murray, every week he just turns up and just, he is an absolute champion. What a player.
And a running dialogue between Harry Grant and the referee Todd Smith all night. Melbourne number 9 in the ear hole of the referee.
That never happened before.
Hawkins just scooped that up. Avoid the knock on after another pass hit the deck. Burgess. Strong tackle underneath from Joey Chan, making his tackles count. And after the set restart, Harry Grant pushed the friendship there, jumping the gun, perhaps. Kolomatangi reaches out, and I think he's lost it. He was there, he was poised, but didn't finish the job.
Well, the referee was in perfect position. He was standing right behind where Kolomatangi tries to slam this ball down. This will show up perfectly. He spins and reaches out. Does he have control? Oh,
bounces it.
Out.
Closer than I think the referee initially thought that. You giving that? Ooh. He hasn't scored a try all season, Keon Kolomatangi.
Just looking to see if the ball is lost or grounded by Keon Kolomatangi. Keon Kolomatangi knocks the ball on the end goal. We have a decision.
He's been impressive, Keon, playing in the middle. I'm sure he'd prefer to play on the edge, on that right edge, his favourite side. But he's a team man, team first, and really strong in the middle.
South were walking back to their own half. They thought that try was going to be given. Keon Kolomatangi, and we were watching him. He says, what the heck is going on here? Melbourne have got a 7-tackle set. They watched the replays that we all watched and thought that was going to be overruled, the on-field call. And for Graham Annesley to explain on Monday, perhaps. In his weekly review. Atoa has had some really dangerous moments tonight. Slowed down here. And a little feel for the left knee, but he's okay to play it. Here's Welch. He's about to be 6-0 this season. The only game he missed was the loss in Newcastle. Christian Welch. Hughes was absent that night as well. Here he is, the number 7.
I don't think Munster played that night either, didn't he? He was out.
Oh, off the chest of Gray. Grant goes to Chan. Oh, he's bombed a try. He got white line fever there. He had about 3 men over on the left-hand side, maybe more, and Joey was in search of his first try. Now Munster goes to Wishart, and there is the 4-pointer, a play later.
Well, that's just too good, too smart, too skillful. It looks simple, but they identified that after that little turnover of the football. And the play here, well, we just go right back to this kick. Harvey Norman replay. Ball goes high off Hughes' boot. That's a knock on, and they nearly score. If Joe Chan just tips on there to Sean Plaw, I think Melbourne score the play before. But they understand what needs to happen. The ball just needs to get wide to their left, and in 2 passes, it finds Wishart right on the edge. 2 clean passes out in front. There's a try to the number 14.
It's actually frightening how much he looks like his dad. It is absolutely frightening. Bill?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Joey, not the first time we've heard the name Wishart scoring down the sideline. Obviously, his dad, Rod Wishart, made a career on the wing, played for New South Wales and Australia, and he's very versatile, Tyron. He can play anywhere in the back line, can play dummy half, and he can fill in the forwards as a middle forward. And that's why he's on the bench for the Melbourne Storm. He's obviously filling in for Xavier Coates here tonight, but Tyron Wishart, he's a valuable member of this Melbourne Storm team at the moment.
And Meaney slots the sideline conversion this time. I just wonder if we're underestimating the intelligence of Joey Chan, because I reckon if they scored off that play, then it goes upstairs and maybe there's an offside from the original kick with those chasers who appeared to overrun. And they might have been inside the 10. There might have been a penalty, no try.
He's a front rower.
So he takes on the tackle. That all goes into the dustbin, and they score on the next play.
Yeah, no, he meant that. Can Tyron goal kick like his old man?
I know his old man played on the wing. He used to play in those ankle boots.
Short kick off again, and not the required before the bat back.
Remember the high tops?
The high cuts.
They were disgusting.
Just the serious one on the boots. You guys were discussing it at half-time. What should visitors do when they come to this venue in terms of screw-ins or moulds?
Well, you have 2 lots of boots. You have long sprigs for when it's slippery. You go out before the game, you look at the surface, and if it's a little bit slippery, you wear your screw-ins. Day games, you wear your moulds. Anytime it's wet or at night, pretty much every game at night.
Yep.
Has every player got screw-ins?
Well, they should.
Well, they should.
Big Nelson winding up. Oh, look at him go. Asifa Solomona, the fans love him. Big Nasty's got the mean look going with the fresh shave as well. South Sydney came at them early in this half, but now Melbourne finishing strongly. Niero flicks one out the back for Munster. Already a try scorer, and that close to his second. Grant goes to Hughes. Out in front of Pappenhausen. Oh, Warpick has bombed it.
What about this pass from Jerome Hughes? Under pressure, wet, slippery night. We've spoken about the ball would be so slippery. He catches and passes in one movement and finds Pappenhausen. Look at this pass. And unfortunately, that last pass just goes a little bit behind Warbrick. With Jerome Hughes. Magic play.
Offloads have done plenty of damage tonight. And look at that again from Havili right on cue for Whiten to have a chance against Meaney. Katoa had to finish the job and was entitled to fall on Whiten, who slipped through the initial tackle, as the referee explained. Now Hawkins, Jai Gray out the back. They've moved their way stylishly down to the 30-metre line here, midway through the tackle count. Seen some high-scoring footy on Anzac Day on 9. Roosters racking up 60 earlier against the Dragons. And here's Gray. Little grubber and chasing. And Wishart has the bat at deck.
He's offered plenty, Gray. Comes around on those sweep plays, on those second man plays. It's incredibly quick. And backs himself.
He was presented his debut jersey by Phil Blake, who knew a thing or two about a kick and chase.
He was one of the greats. Double chip and chase. Chip the first line, chip the fullback. So many times he did that.
Oh, what about that? They let it bounce, and again it bounces Melbourne's way. They made an adjustment, a tweak to that rule in the off-season to try and encourage more contests. I reckon the other rule should be that it's live now for the receiving team, and it has to go 10 for the team that kicked. And that way South Sydney could have diffused it, could have gone inside the 10, collected it on the full, instead of having to wait for the ball to bounce. What do you think of that proposed rule change?
Mate, I wasn't listening. This is the second game.
Cam was on.
Well,
ball is live for the receiving team as soon as it's kicked.
I'm on life support.
We'll just wait for Pappenhausen to see what he's going to do here down this right-hand side. I'll tell you what, I don't mind that little variation. It puts more onus on the kicker, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To make sure that it goes 10.
Instead, they get lucky with a bounce. Here's Hughes hanging it up. Up they go, and over for Joey Chan. Oh, he's been waiting to celebrate like that, Joey.
He knew that everyone was onside. That's why he scored. But once again, the kick lands it on the spot, all onside. Harvey Norman replay. Jerome Hughes steps up, inch perfect, lands it right on the try line, and 3, 4, 5 players there, and Joe Chan, he scores that one.
Yeah, well done, the big man. He gets up high, very happy. They don't get to score too many. Oh, he just got the ball on the line in maybe what was the second effort. No defender on him, so he's allowed to make that movement. Oh, happy young man. There's the roomies. Alec McDonald, Joe Chan. Oh, it's been a big night, hasn't it, for the Melbourne Storm?
He's won a lot of games already in his young career. Catalan were a really good team when he was playing there. Now come out to Australia to play for the Storm.
Where they at the Storm? Do you think they got more improvement? They got another gear in them?
Well, I think they do, Joey. I think, you know, they've been a little bit patchy at times with their football. They've had to really dig deep on numerous occasions, particularly over the last few weeks. We're just waiting for confirmation here, I think.
Try confirmed.
Yep.
Must have been really tight, the offside, because you got the lines for the football, the soccer, and that was helping the bunker line up whether Chan was onside or not.
Yeah, I think the coach he'd love to see him just play a little bit more consistent style of footy, Joey, moving forward.
Meaney adds 2 more. Emma Lawrence, some breaking news.
Yeah, Speedy, so Nelson Asofa-Solomona has a tight hamstring. The Storm have decided to bring him off, but they have used all of their interchanges, so that means that they have to finish this match now with 12 men.
Yeah, he's just come back from a hamstring issue, so hopefully that's just hamstring awareness for Big Nelson, because they got a tough game now away to the Titans, who've really found their form in recent weeks and got the chocolates today.
Well, the last 3 weeks, well, they beat the Warriors over there today. Last week, they took Manly right till the 80th minute, and then they got beaten Golden Point in Canberra. They played well today. They defended so well. And the Storm, they're only missing 1 player, Kamikamitha.
Yeah.
So they're nearly full strength.
And he should be just about ready from his calf injury to return maybe in a fortnight's time for Tui Kamikamitha. So Melbourne playing out the game here with 12 men. That's what's to come. They get a couple of games at home after that against the Sharks and Eels. Look at Wishart popping up. Off another offload. And even though they've got 12 men, they fancy adding to their total right now. Can they match what the Roosters did and get to 60 here as Welch takes them inside the 20. Wishart's role has changed into dummy half right now to give Grant a chop out. And that kick, made it tough on Gray again. Isn't he brave putting his head over the footy?
That was brave. Is there a head clash here?
I'm worried about both players. The referee said he's only worried about the Melbourne player, but Gray's in a bit of bother too.
Time on, off you go.
Oh, careful, boys. Who's ready? Oh, has he just caught that on the juggle?
Not early here, boys.
Players switching off in the last couple of minutes.
You're on the mark.
Yeah, this year there's been wins by the Storm, which are very unlike the Melbourne Storm. Like even tonight, they've scored 54, but they've let 20 in. The last 10, 15 years, you'd never see that from the Storm, but I think it's the way they're doing. Everything you do on the field's connected. If you put all that effort into your attack, then naturally your defence is going to suffer a little bit. But the way they're attacking this year, it's totally different to even last year or the year before. A lot of offloads, a lot of ad-lib footy.
Pass hits the deck.
I think they're travelling around really nicely, the Storm.
And we talked about how healthy they are. Compare that to South Sydney. Junior Totola out until round 18. Johnston's been out for a while with a hamstring back in round 10. Campbell Graham, that sternum issue, keeping him out to round 20 now. Lachlan Elias, who started the year as the halfback, has that broken leg to contend with. So all sorts of issues for Jason Demetrio to contend with. How about the one-on-one strip from Eli Katoa, finishing off his job tonight.
Yeah, that was smart work.
So into the 80th minute. As we check on Katoa's work, Hughes dropped off. He heard the call, and host lost the footy. Viero complaining about what went on in that tackle. Wishart tried to get a little too fancy there from dummy half. It's a knock-on against South Sydney, is it?
Well, it goes to show this is a really hard pass. And we spoke about Harry Grant in the first half.
Captain's challenge from South.
We're going to...
On-field ruling was off the foot of Cameron Munster. Knock on South picking it up.
You can see how difficult this pass is from Tyrone Wishart. We're going to highlight after the game that pass from Harry Grant in the first half where Warbrick scored.
It was initially off Cameron Munster's foot, but playing on, just seeing if there's a knock-on off Cameron Murray.
I thought he was making a tackle on that one. No, it's not.
I can't check on the forward pass that Wishart threw, of course, in the bunker. So they're not looking at that angle. They're looking at this one to see whether Murray tidies up clean or knocks it on here. Drags it back initially. Then knocks it on there.
Strikes the ball with his forearm, but then lays on the ground and then catches up with his hand. This is a knock-on. The challenge by South is unsuccessful.
It's the late one for Grant Atkins to deal with the captain's challenge. You can't take him with you.
Melbourne feed.
And Murray is the captain, of course, of South Sydney.
You're 10 in, righto.
Once again, Cameron Murray tops the tackle count.
Let's go, boys, come on.
What a player.
What number on his back for New South Wales?
Leads the hit-ups, the most hit-ups by anyone. Well, I don't know. It depends how you want to play. If you want to play a real power game, he starts at lock. It's up to Madge how
Rabbitohs
he
just got
wants
to be
to
aware
play.
of a kick here. They had people racing back.
Look at Munster. It might be a nightmare. Imagine going to the same school as Cam Munster and trying to...
Well, this is just absolutely ridiculous.
Tane Milne.
This is how players break their legs or do their knees. Now, I saw one of these years ago with Liam Knight, which was just someone come from a blind spot and dived at his legs. And Liam Knight pretty much did every ligament in his knee. Just watch this. Munster. Watch Tane Milne here.
Is he going to get sent off here?
Like it's just...
Well, he's gone head first, not even looking at the target.
It's just so dangerous.
The siren has sounded. He's gone to the bin here. So it's 12 on 12 if Melbourne want to chase a late try after the hooter has sounded.
Well, he only went in one intention there to hurt Cameron Munster, diving in with his head, not even looking.
No, I think they'll just tap this and kick it into touch. They've had enough, the Storm.
2-point field goal instead is the attempt from Pappenhausen, and the ball is still live here. And South Sydney collected through Whiten. How much adventure from them? That's the end of the ball game. South Sydney 0-19 in Melbourne. They just cannot win down here. The Storm far too good. Another win for them on Anzac Day. That is 8 wins in a row on this day of remembrance. Full time here at Amy Park. It is the Storm 54, the Rabbitohs 20.